Hi,
Hello, my dear.
how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good, good.
Welcome to another episode. Apologies for the late connection. All right, but
No
we're
problem.
here. It's a Thursday, and you are welcome. I'm Tseho
Thank
Mosadi, and I'm
you.
incredibly honored to be your guide in exploring this deeply personal topic brought to you by the Mind Retirement Institute. Mind Retirement is a company that is committed in fostering mental wealth, being personal development, and empowerment through the range of programs and resources and retreats. Mind Retirement Institute aims to guide on individuals' transformative journeys towards self discovery, healing, and balanced life. So today we are joined by one and the only one of us, the community leader, our lady, our hiker, Marion Thomas. Welcome, Mama, to the
Thank
Mind
you.
Retirement, to um, healing of motherhood, you know. And we therefore encourage everyone that is here to actively participate by sharing their thoughts and questions and experience in their comments. Your input is welcome and it's very crucial to us in this conversation. So we're going to hear this incredible woman who's here with us. Remember that mother wounds are so complex aspects of our emotional landscape, and this discussions intends to foster understanding, empathy, and most importantly, healing. So whether you're joining us or someone who's experienced the mother wound and this support, we ask you to just kindly stay with us, ask those questions, and just be with us as we go through this. So, Siswam, can you tell us who Miriam Thomas is?
You forgot something there that I'm the ambassador, brand ambassador of
The
Mandiri
brand
Retirement.
ambassador. I thought I went in and I was saying all these things, but I forgot the important.
Good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity to engage on your platform. So I'm Marion Thomas from Limpopo. I grew up in three different parts of Limpopo, which, yeah, it made me the person that I am today. And yeah, I'm a mom of one boy. Um, I have three sisters. I'm the third one, and the most troubling one.
Are you the middle
um,
child?
number three. Well, I
Oh,
don't know.
last born. It explains it.
Yeah, and from work perspective, I work in technology, but I'm also an NLP practitioner, which actually it was as part of my healing that I ended up being in that space. Thank you.
So just maybe tell us, how did your experience with your mom have an impact on your mental health?
So I think it wasn't an immediate thing that was identified. I think I went through life pretty well, but I was operating heavily on my masculine side. And all this came when I left. Actually, I was preparing to leave my job at that point because there was just too much. And at that point, that's when I realized that there is a lot of underlying trauma that I've never identified. And I didn't know. I was just living life. But at that point, the floodgates opened. And then I realized that there's problems. And that is when I identified that certain things, how I live my life, my attachment styles in relationships and all relationships, is as a result of. And I started also identifying certain patterns in how I am parenting. And I was like, no, but this is not right. And then I realized that, oh, I know where it's coming from. So it wasn't immediate for me, but then I think I was putting plaster as I was going along. And until then, when the cup was full and things were overflowing, that is when it came in to say, yeah, you have a problem.
And then when you actually saw those signs, what steps have you taken on your healing process and what did you start doing? Because then you realized, my parenting style and the way I'm doing things, this is deeper than I thought. I actually need healing.
So, as I said, I started my healing journey as I was preparing to leave my position in a certain company, and I signed up for coaching sessions. At that point, actually, I didn't even know what I was looking for. I knew I needed help, but I didn't know what it looked like. What I knew was I wasn't looking for advice or a psychologist, but I needed help. So luckily, I found a coach on Facebook, Tabiso, and he was promoting, he was doing coaching on a pro bono.
Okay.
And I was like, let's go check this thing because I don't know what it is, but let me go check it out and understand what it is. And when I went there, when I left, I knew that I was signing up for additional, well, now I was going to pay. And that is how my healing started. But as I was going through the process, like I said, the floodgates had opened. So now layers and layers of past traumas started coming back. And I remember saying to him, I can connect well when I'm writing. And actually, I still have a script because I was writing like a script in a form of a book. And I started writing a story about from when I was 7 years old. Um, and I sat there crying because now it was like my life was flashing just in front of me as I was growing up. And I was like, I've been through so much and I didn't even notice. But as I was going through that, that is when I started identifying that this is what hit me. This is why I'm behaving like this. And I think obviously healing does not end, it's a journey
Yes.
because I think just like a headache, you get a headache today, and then you're like, but what, why do I have this headache? And then those traumas are these triggers because something is triggering um, a wound. So you're like, okay, and I am conscious about those things because I'm like, okay, what happened? Why all of a sudden am I feeling like this? Or why did I snap in this way? And then I rectify those things. But it's a process. It's not I'm going to meet a coach today and then I'm healed, I'm okay. It is continuous. I keep writing. I do journal. There's days where I'm like, okay, today I feel like I need to write a letter to myself again as a young child, and I do that. So it's not a, yeah, you have a medication that we
You're
just give
right.
you and then, yeah.
Okay. And when you are writing, or like that first letter that you wrote, or when you are even doing it now, were there moments where you just have doubts about just being open about your mental health and what you went through? Because sometimes you want to write it down or you want to be talking to someone, but you like, people are so judgmental, or someone may actually get this book and they actually get to read about me. And did you have any of those doubts?
Actually, as I was writing initially, I went back and read it, and I was like, oh, this is a bit much. If somebody sees this, are they going to think otherwise about me? And even sometimes I'm like, will my family find my books? I think I have 3 books.
Yeah.
Will somebody pick up the book and then read it? And are they going to have a problem with what I've written? And but I'm like, that is not their process to follow. It's my process, and I need to do it to a point where I'm comfortable, and I'm able to say, this is my story. I'm not writing it for you to like it. I am writing for me to understand what happened to me, and how do I move on, but not for, if you judge me, it's okay. Because I've also learned, I mean, I've also been judgmental before, but, and as I'm going through the conversations with the coaches, I think I was once told, if you judge with respect, because you don't know where the person is coming from. But
Yes.
I am content that I can tell my story. And if you judge, it's okay.
So
I mean,
it.
you don't know what I've been through. Therefore, you are judging from your lens, not from what my journey has been. So yeah, we can't mask our wounds just because somebody is going to comment on it.
And when you are saying that, I mean, you find individuals that are still just trying to actually just come out from that shell when where those that are still struggling and they have
Yes.
not even identified to what causes their pain. How do
Mm,
you think, as individuals, we can create a more supportive environment, an understanding environment for mental health? Because,
yeah.
we Rona now in our journey, we are at the point where people talk anyway. So, and
Mm,
this is my story. So you
yes.
take it, you leave it. But there are those people that are still saying, they are suffering from what will people say syndrome.
Yeah.
They're suffering, like you saying, you've got 3 books at home already. And before you could get to this stage of your healing journey, you had doubts of, if somebody finds this book, then what will happen? How do
Yeah.
we create that safe space, like you are now, an ambassador of Mind Retirement, and you understand this community that we are in, that this is a safe space, and this is
Yes.
where, um, we know we can cry, we can love, and we will not be judged. Instead,
Mm,
we'll be coached in a way that it makes it easier for you to even open up more and to also realize that you are not alone.
yeah. I think first it starts with, this is a, should do I say community thing or generational thing, where mental health is classified as a white people's thing. Um, and that is where the problem starts, because now, if anyone has to say, I need healing, then somebody says you are coming up with white people's problems. And sometimes a person says, I need help, and then people are like, yeah, you are depressed. But it's not depression. And we are diagnosing people because sometimes we think we know. We look at somebody and they are struggling, and we are already diagnosing. The first thing is for us to speak about these things and be comfortable to say, I am healing, and I'm in pain. What I'm going through, it's painful. And it's not for us to judge, to say whether it's big or small. Sometimes it's something as big as somebody saying, when, and my niece laughs at me, and she said to me, I'll buy you a bicycle, because I said a bicycle was bought for my younger sister. I never got a bicycle, and every time I rode it, I was shouted at or beaten up. And it's a big thing for me. I mean, we laugh about it now. She's, because one day she said to me, I'm going to buy you a bicycle because this bicycle thing is a problem for you. But it's things like that that we don't understand the extent of. This person did not get a bicycle or even a teddy bear, or even Christmas clothes because it was bought for their sister or their brother and they were not bought those things. So we need to listen and listen with empathy. And it's not for you to judge, to say how big your problem is. And if a person needs help, you can only guide to say these are the people that are out there that can help. But obviously, we cannot say advice or push them towards healing because healing, it's personal. um you can't force a person to go heal because they're just gonna do a U-turn and not go through with the process. So the person
Exactly.
must be willing to go through the journey of healing because it's not a straight line as well. Today you attend a coaching session, you feel pumped up and you're excited. The next day you feel like, what the hell am I doing? Why? Because now something else was triggered and you're like,
Just triggered,
it's
yes. You
painful
know,
and now I'm in pain.
I saw something on Facebook today. Um, this lady had lost her brother years ago. Somehow it came up, that I remember this day. And then she says, I was in a taxi and I just started bursting in tears. And I
Yeah.
mean, it's been over 5 years that my little brother's been gone. And then she's like,
Mhm.
but how does this work? you know
Yeah.
and this is why we always say that healing is indeed a journey, but it
Yes.
does not have an ending. One minute
No.
you're okay, like you're saying, you've got the coaching, and then the next minute you're just breaking down.
Yes.
Earlier on you mentioned that you have a son, you know or a child. How has
Mm.
your wound impacted on your child?
So I think because initially I had two children that I was looking at. Well, it was my child and my niece that I had. My niece now is staying with her parents. But when I was parenting them, I realized that that is not the parents, the style that I want to go on with. And the beating up, I was, a child makes a mistake. It's me beating them
Yeah.
up because that is what I was, well, I was beaten up. It's like, that is how you discipline a child. Shouting, like I will be irritated and shouting for the smallest things. And I said, I don't want it. I don't want to be that parent. And I had to go through that journey to understand that there's conversations that I need to have with the kids. There's things that I need to just look at it and say, is it really a big problem? I mean, I can still, I give them looks and then they know that, okay, they don't. But it is not as extreme as it used to be. But I also have conversations. If something is going to impact my child, I do sit down and say, listen, one, two, three is going to happen, and we are going to do this. Then he understands. Or I say, what do you think? And then he gives me feedback. But also, funny enough, December I went home and I took my baby pictures. I don't know why. I can't explain it, but I felt the need to take them. And when I came back, my letters to the younger me were done with those pictures in front of me, and I was able to connect directly to the younger me. Now the conversations were live. It was like the younger me was in front of me. And I explained to my son what I was doing. And he said, when I was in grade 5, 6, I started not performing in school. I'm like, yeah. He says, yeah, it's because I saw that I wasn't given any attention and the attention was given to my niece. So I just thought, well, what's the point of trying hard? And then it hit me
Yeah.
because he was right. The girl was given more attention than him. He's a boy. Why must we cuddle boys? Why must we bond with boys? And I was like, I had to apologize and say, okay, well, now because we have that relationship, but it's something that happened, and he recognized that, okay, this is a problem. This was not right for both sides.
Mm,
But for me as a mother, that says, okay, you need to be conscious in your parenting. You can't parent by default. You need to be present.
definitely.
And you can't make the kids, like, even when my niece visits, I cannot choose sides. I need to be conscious in what I'm doing, in what how I speak to them. If one says this one does this, or if this one wants to cuddle with me, I need to be available, which was a problem because I couldn't even connect with my son to that level. And I had to learn, because it's as much as it's hard, you have to sit there and say, I am doing it, and you do it, and then it becomes, every time, even if you feel like, yeah, it's not gelling within me, you push through, and you end up having, now it's like I get cheeks kisses, I get hugs, which, it's things that I didn't get before, and I was like, well, it's
Yeah,
boys, they don't do such things. In the meantime, the poor boys are doing such things for their mothers.
that's great. So you mentioned having to take pictures from home. That means you
Yes,
are actually just revisiting your childhood. At what
yes.
stage of your life did you actually realize that you were suffering from mother wound? And what was happening? Like, how did you get to a point like, I'm going to take this and bring them home? And when you started having those, you started connecting the dots. And this is when you like, you know what? I deserve this healing because now I understand where I was coming from.
I think the journey started in 2017, but because it's and I've been doing it, and 2 years ago, I was stuck, and I said, I don't know what is wrong with me, from a work perspective, from love life perspective, from just my life was just stuck. And
Mm,
some of the things I said, I asked myself, what is it that I want? And what is it that I'm doing that is going to get me out of this rut? But as I was busy working on myself, then I picked up even more things that were hurting me, but I had not figured out before or dealt with. So, and
mm,
hence I said, it's a journey where something gets triggered, and then I go and say, okay, we need to adjust. We need to do one, two, three. And even how my mother spoke to me. I mean, I remember there was a time, and obviously I didn't know that it was a problem. I think I was around probably 8, 9, when I asked myself, am I adopted? I mean, we were poor. I don't know why I thought that, but I understood what adoption was, because I was like, it doesn't feel like I'm wanted in this family.
mm.
But I mean, I laugh about it. I'm like, why did you think you were adopted? When you were
Pain.
adopted,
When you're in pain,
when
you only see the
when
dark.
you when you're poor. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's not even about party. You're thinking, Mary, if I wasn't adopted, I wouldn't be feeling this pain. I'm sure my parents will be loving me. You know, the worst is you actually having to look like your mom, but you look at her and say, but maybe she's not my mother. And people, like, when they see you guys, you identify, like, you guys are identical, but you are still
No,
doubting because you don't understand and you're going through so much pain. And you're like,
yes, and
I
I was a
know.
child as well, so it
Hmm,
was like, maybe this is not my family. Maybe my family. I mean,
exactly.
I'm laughing now, but I look back, I'm like, but obviously those things now were plastered. Like, okay, it's okay. You move on. But and those things are coming. There's times where they come back, and I'm like, yes, I think I have not dealt with. How do I deal it? But also, I went back. I said, how was my mother raised? And why did she do what she did? Because Then my mother was in, they lost their mother in their teenage years. I mean, some of this, her siblings were babies. And she died while giving birth, my grandmother. And then I'm like, this trauma is not from this woman, it goes back. And her
Yeah.
father was a drunkard who was not working. So he was the last born, only boy. He was well taken care of by his family. So there was no that after the mother died, there was no motherly love. Yeah, their families took care of them, but they also struggled because before they could eat, they needed to work for somebody. And then they had to move around between families. And then I'm like, well, actually she had her own traumas as well. So now I do understand because there's a point where as well she started getting sick. And then in her healing journey, she's stubborn, right? She's like stubborn. Then there's this she doesn't want to eat. I'm like, this woman. And then we like so physically her right hand side is doesn't work, so she's partially disabled. Now we like you need to do exercises, so you she refuses. I lost it. And also, that was one of the times I realized that this is not the person I am or I want to be. But I had lost it because I'm like, this is the person that I never really had a relationship with. And today, instead of her doing the right things, she's acting up. So between that and her own childhood, even though nobody can say, yeah, we have wounds because she can't verbalize anything, and that is one of the struggles as well. So I can't even go back because I couldn't go back and say, hey, I realized that I was traumatized as a child. I understood and I said, I don't even want to hurt her. I need to understand where she came from, and it's okay, and it is well with me. So the healing, it's like it's yeah, it's a continuous thing that I'm going through. And me understanding that yeah, I can't just stop and say, yeah, I'm a perfect human being. I need to heal for my kids and my grandkids and the future generation.
Yeah. And like you saying what you went through, um, it wasn't easy. But do you feel like you are healing? You are healed? Or is there a way, you know, that you do with your son that helps your healing journey? And you've mentioned now the touch, the connection, the talks, it's helping. Is there anything else that you are doing differently than, that you're doing now than then?
I think there's just different things that I'm going through. Like I was saying, I have learned that I can heal. When I started the healing journey, I mean, I saw the coach for like, I think, probably 10 times. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. And then I phoned him. I said, something happened. And I think I need to speak to you. And then like then I realized that okay, no, this is a journey that I need to because I'm uncovering things that I'm learning, and there's snippets of my childhood that will pop up out of the blue, and I'm like, I think that is one of the problems that I have. But what do I do? Then I sit and say, okay, do I need external help? Do I need my own help? And what do I do? Do I write or do I speak to someone? Or is it just something that I've already dealt with it? It's just now coming forward, but it doesn't need me to do anything. But like I said, it's a journey, and continuously I am learning. And what I've learned now is to, and recently I've also started a new role at my company. And in there, and I said to this man who's my boss, I said, I thank God for you when I met you because you came right at the moment where I needed to become my feminine me.
Yes.
And obviously my masculine is what drives me getting things done, but I needed the feminine side as well to come forward. And this supports my son because he doesn't need the masculine me anymore. He needs the feminine side of me.
The
He needs the
feminine
motherly
side.
love. He needs the hugs. He needs the softer side of things. He doesn't need I need we still get to a point where we say we need to achieve this, and he's achieving things on his own. I don't have to do that. But also at my work, there's a point where I was working with, and from when I started working, I worked with men most of the time. Now I had to fight my way. I had to fight to prove that I can do what I do. I know things. And now it's like, I don't fight. I do what I need to do. And I tell you, you don't believe it, you don't want it. We move on.
You
And
just
that is where
move.
I am. Yes, I'm in my feminine. I'm like, let me be a girl for a change. Let just me be.
Let me put
I,
on my heel, let me put on my weave, and let me be vulnerable. I always say to
yeah.
people, I'm not strong. I'm a Masimilo. So please treat
Mm,
me with care because really I'm so done. Because everyone that sees you will say, you are strong, Miriam. You are just, we look up to you, and they don't know
yes.
the child inside of you is actually breaking down, and
And
needing and
I said,
shouting for help.
I'm no longer strong. Guys
Mhm. Haumpokoto wena.
in dealing your problems, I am not
We-
I am not coming. I am no longer fixing. And the one thing, and I think which was a problem, I was now wanting to mother people and fix their problems because I I was not taken care of, and now I wanted to take care of everyone. And I'm like, oh, my cup is not full. Please do your own things. I'll do my own. I will help when I'm asked, but if I can,
You can't. Indeed, a healing journey is a
people,
journey
I
that,
will go
yeah,
through. You don't have to do anything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, I don't do that anymore. Let me be. I want to be a princess. I don't want to be a queen or queen mother. Let me be a princess.
yeah, and but do you somehow, when you're having that masculine side of you, or when you are treating your kids differently, do you see your mother in you? Because
Yes.
with kids or in that learning journey, because they're saying you do what you see. Guru, their kids are like sponges. You were raised
Mm,
by your mom. Her teachings
mm,
somehow they are within you. But do you
yes.
actually acknowledge them and see and say, I need to do better?
Yes. Like I said, it was a problem for me because I was like, this is the style that I was raised under. And even the talking, the shouting, to a point where actually I said, I don't want to be this person who just shouts and the children can't play. Things are not in order and it's me shouting and screaming. I'm like, right now, if I find something on the floor, I just jump over it and I'm like, it's not my problem.
Yeah, you move.
So it is continuous. Yes. If I keep losing you, or is
I don't know if I keep losing you. Can you hear me
Is it
clearly?
my? Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Can you hear me clear now?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. And what word of encouragement maybe can you give to that one person who is in need of help, who says, I hear what you're saying, but I'm struggling to even come out? My mom, even in her deathbed, I can still hear her words. I see the treatment. Maybe, because some people you get them experiencing the same things in their workplace, in their relationships, and instead of them actually healing, everything is relived over and over again. How do they come out from that? Because, people will be saying you attract what you are coming from or what you've experienced, or because that's all you've always known, and that's what you actually just you think it's normal, but you actually realize, oh, but this is not the life I want for myself.
I think the first thing is identifying that there's a there's a problem, and not you are the problem. There's a problem. Um, and in that problem, what do you need to do to get out of where you are? What do you want? And I think that is the main question that also you need to ask yourself, because this really ready to go through the process. So what do you want? Do you want to be happy? Do you want love? Do you want peace? What do you want? And in that want, you also need to identify that in your healing process, you might have to drop people along the way, including your mother. And then from there, you seek professional help. And the reason it's professional help is that if help is free, we don't take it serious, we don't value it. But
Yes.
when we pay for something, that is the only time we take it serious. Even if we you pay 50 rand, you're going out of your wallet and paid for it. You seek professional help, not advice, and then you deal it. But like I said, you need to be mentally ready, because in this help, sometimes you realize that ish, it means some people have to go. And am I ready for that? Because if you're not ready and you still want attachment with those people, you might not heal under their their under that relationship with your mother. So, and if like for instance, you mentioned that mama is not there anymore, you might have to go to the grave and speak to her. You might have to write a letter to her. Like I said, I had, because she can't even respond to me at this stage. I mean, she would show me her facial expressions, and that will kill me, because every time I know something is not right, I can see from her face. And if I mean, before we would leave her with someone, and then I come back, I see from the face that something is not right. And
Yeah.
then, like, ish, how do I now? And now she can't even tell you, because if I say what's wrong, she can't tell me. Then I know that something happened, but she
Yeah.
can't verbalize it. So yeah, it's tricky when, like I said, mom is not here anymore, and some of the mothers don't even care. They will tell you that I don't care. That is not my problem. Your healing is not my problem. So that is why I'm saying at some point you might have
And how do, yeah, you know, when you're saying some mothers will
Draw
not
on healing
care,
journey.
that is very, you just highlighted something. You're saying some mothers will not even care. Would it be
Mm.
that they are being just unresponsive because they don't even want to deal with their childhood trauma? Is it like a mechanism for them to just say, I don't want to deal with it? This is what you are going through. Or in their growing up, they were not even taught how to deal or voice out their challenges. So now that they have their kids, and you know, they would say, Ma 2000 ta gona nou, hey, bana bao, they have no, habana di stop, you know, and that's what we are raising. Those kids, they speak their mind, you know, they talk. As the parents, sa bona gona nou, we realize the importance of um, actually just having conversations with these things, you know. And now, how do you then move away from that and say, Mama, ha batle ho nkutlwella, ha batle ho heala, e re ke tsweng?
Yeah,
Because
you
we have a
see,
question here actually that is actually says, Sis Miriam, how will you advise someone who'd like to forgive their mother and receive an apology that they never received? Oh no, this is the second one. Yeah, but you can maybe answer that after that, the one that I asked you now.
okay. So I think the first thing is to identify Hore, what were the challenges, and maybe like I said, sometimes writing does bring up forgiveness is a big thing, and and like it might be that mama is not there anymore, or mama doesn't really care. So you will have to go through the emotions and understand what, okay, what happened, and also maybe also look at from mama's perspective, what did she go through in herself, and we might not know, but when now you have to start the journey. And even like I said, mind retirement has coaches that can help you unpack some of those challenges that you can heal from, because forgiving as well, it might just be a tape to say, I'm forgiving you, underlying traumas. And like I said, if mama is still around, sometimes it might be those relationships might be actually have to be abandoned, because for your own mental health and your healing journey, you are just not getting it. So you will have to get, I mean, you can get an assessment, I think, and find out how the coaches can help. You also write depending on the situation, to move on and forgive. But master over the wound behind it.
Oh, what an incredible conversation we have. And we just have a few minutes to go. What words of encouragement, or where can people, because I understand you're also a life coach, where can people get hold of you if they're needing assistance? You know, because of course, Felicity is saying this was so powerful, but how do we get hold of you?
Thank you. So, my words of encouragement is that you need to have self compassion. And I think there's a book, um, actually, I have it here.
Awesome.
And we need to have conversation with us, but what happened to us? And we also need to forgive ourselves because we didn't know. We didn't know that this is a problem, or these are the things that should not be happening to us. And there must be self-development, and self-development comes from coaching, where you have coaches that are going to help you to move from where you are to where you want to be, and where you want to be. Because if you don't want to be there, it doesn't matter how we do this sessions, the coaching. If you are not ready, you are not going to heal. And then the other thing is taking accountability and responsibility. Healing requires you to be to say and again, it's you forgiving someone that is not asking for forgiveness. And you're not going to use, now I say, oh, I'm mistreating my kids because this is how I grew up. We have to do those, taking that accountability and responsibility for our healing, and then we move on. And like I said, there's tons of information out there, but I think the first thing is finding the coaches, the people that can support and guide. And yeah, then
Okay. Yeah, no, you must just tell them, as the ambassador, they must join the Mind Retirement Institute, because this is a family, a community where you are just welcome, and you know for a nothing more. This is where home is, and this is where the
that
warmth
is
is
a,
at, right?
yeah, yes. Well, before you even maybe find a coach, because it might be difficult and some of the coaches don't come cheap. Mind Retirement has monthly coaching and hiking sessions that actually from there you have conversations that can guide you in terms of how do you start your healing and how do you engage the different coaches that are there. And there's obviously other retreats. For instance, I think every quarter, I might be wrong, but I think it's every quarter. So for a start, those might be the best sessions to be part of because they are cost effective as well. Do I want to go into this journey fully? Because then after that, there's no way, when we are not carrying any victims. We are going ahead and on a healing journey. And when you fall off, we are there to support. And
Yeah.
we we are all going through something, and we don't judge. Sometimes we force you to get out of your shell because we have people that are like, no, but let me not. Sometimes we get
Right.
the information out of you, but I mean, it's a perfect way for us to support each other, and actually then to enable anyone out there
Hmm. No, this is Marian. Thank you so
to
much
go.
for joining us. We are really grateful for you having to join us today, and for just bravely sharing your journey of healing from mother wounds. Your openness and vulnerability is truly inspiring, and I must say your story has power to resonate with and uplifting others from their healing. Um, to everyone that tuned in today, we really hope that you found this conversation very insightful, and we hope that it offered you the sense of connection, and understanding that you are actually not alone. Remember that healing is unique and it's ongoing, like Mrs. Miriam says. We therefore encourage you to embrace your own stories, to seek support Look for those coaches when it's needed. Join those groups, those communities that says we welcome you, we won't judge you, we won't look down on you. you know Visit our social media pages, Mind Retirement, Healing from Mother Wounds, and you will see, there's so much to learn from that. We have a wellness retreats, coaching, and personal programs that we are part of. So come in, join in. You are really welcome. If you have any questions and the specific topics that maybe you'd like us to explore, instead of just healing of mother wound in the future, let us know. Feel free, reach out to us. We have life coaches, we have people that are in professions that you will need help with, because our community, we've really created a supportive space for these important conversations. So, Osmirian, really, we are wishing you continued strength, healing, profound sense of self discovery. Thank you so much for making time for us, for sharing your story with us. We are truly, truly grateful and honored to have had you to sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much to you and to everyone that tuned in. Like I said, it's a journey. And yeah, we just continue. You struggle, like I said, mind retirement. We are there. I'm there as well. Like I said, I'm the ambassador, but I mean, I do coach hiking. So mostly I do attend the hiking and coaching sessions because those as actually also help because we get to engage and to just collaborate on some of these challenges that we're going through as we go on to the journey of life. But thank you very much, and I do really appreciate your invite.
No, we're really grateful and stay blessed and, continue being the super mom, the soft mommy. You're raising a man and you're raising a woman. So it's got to balance, as the aunt, as the mother. You are mothering these two individuals, and they gotta have to be
Yeah,
incredible people out there. So keep on doing what you're doing, and we are really grateful for
thank you
knowing
very
you.
much.
Have a good evening, ma.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Bye bye.